Welcome back to More Sports and Les-Levine from the Scouting Combine in Indianapolis. I'm Dave Bacon. Pleased to be joined by Tony Rizzo from ESPN Cleveland. Riz, appreciate the time. What do you think? You've been through a lot of these regime changes, as many as I have.
You think Les and I both have been, it feels like an eternity. We call it the 100 Years' War. David, I don't know. I'm gonna take my time with this, and we have a saying on the radio show, don't get hooked. I'm not going to get hooked, but I have to admit, I really like Kevin-Stefanski. He comes across well. He's not too high, not too low, very intelligent guy. Seems like the right kind of guy for today's NFL player. And I teased him. I actually saw him today, and I teased him. I said, you know, you're unbeaten. He said, yeah, I'm also winless. So for now, you know, he's saying all the right things. We'll have to wait and see whether he can win games. As far as Andrew Berry goes, he's in a tough spot. 32 years old. He's a bright guy, though. He's really sharp. And I don't think people realize some of the GMs he's worked under, and specifically in Philadelphia, even John Dorsey, he's learned from some of the best. So I'm optimistic, but again, Browns fans are always optimistic.
When you look at this, a lot was made of alignment. To me, that says, boy, that was what they thought they were missing. Is that the kind of way you read it?
You are dead on. And I asked Andrew, what's the difference between last time around when you guys went 1-31 and this time? And he said that very thing. He goes, you know, the coaching staff, the front office, everybody's on board. Now, that's easy to talk about now in February, late February, but when something hits the fan in August or September, are they still going to be aligned? And that'll be the true test.
When you look at Andrew Berry, and we touched on this a little bit, a lot of people want to make him out to be an analytics guy. He was actually a football guy who worked for Bill Polian and the Colts here in Indianapolis.
So funny. I asked him, he played at Harvard, and I teased him. I said, did you win against Yale your senior year? He goes, we did. He's a nice mix. He's more of a scout than people think, but he does have a big analytics and analytical presence in the building, in the front office, and Paul DePodesta and others. So I want to see how he balances that out. I think that's going to be one of the keys to his success.
When you look at Stefanski, and I know we're going back and forth here, what impressed you the most about him? You know, we both have the feel that he's kind of a big-time coaching guy. What do you like about him?
I liked his demeanor, and I liked the way he answered questions. He didn't promise anything. He just said, you know what, we're going to put our heads down, we're going to go to work. I think he sees that balance is the key. You know, today's player is so much different. Marty Schottenheimer, I don't think, could have coached in today's NFL. It's a different kid that you're coaching, and most of them are kids. You've got to combine a little kick in the butt with a little hug, and I think he's going to do that well. But he's also a no-nonsense guy, and he lets you know that the minute you meet him. You know, he's not the kind of guy that, you know, players are going to be running off the field screaming at. I don't see that happening. And, you know, the discipline thing was much needed here.
And it seems like they kind of swung all the 180 degrees, if you will, and they probably needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I saw Freddie Kitchens last night at dinner, and I still feel for him in that professionally, lifestyle he's set for life, kids. Don't feel that bad for Freddie. But professionally, I fell for him. A lot of it was his fault, but not everything. There were some things that weren't in place that I feel like now are in place, so hopefully this coach will be more successful.
So, again, it's got to be a wait-and-see approach. Do you kind of feel, though, that signs are pointing towards something might be coming together finally?
Well, Dave, I think we've got a roster that can win, and win now. A couple of bounces of the ball last year, and you might have won 8, 9, 10 games. So, yeah, I do think we're actually in a better place than we were when the season ended, and really that's all you can ask for.
Tony Rizzo, appreciate the time.
David, always a pleasure. Please tell Les, love you, Les.